Hello, welcome to Study Circle. Today we are going to read Class 8th Standard, the Indian Constitution. Every society has some constitutive rules that make it what it is and differentiate it from other kinds of societies. In large societies having different communities, these rules are formulated through consensus, and modern countries this consensus is usually available in written form. A written document which incorporates such rules is called constitution. Need of constitution. The constitution plays a very important role in democratic societies, such as to define fundamental nature of society. It lays down ideals that define the kind of country that people want to live in, to define the nature of country's political system. Political system of country may be monarchy or democracy. In monarchy, supreme authority is vested in the monarch and individual ruler, while in a democracy, people choose their leaders and these leaders exercise power responsibly on people's behalf. To safeguard from misuse of authority, the Constitution lays down rules that guard against this misuse of authority by political leaders. The Constitution guarantees the right to equality to all persons. To prevent tyranny of majority, a majority can enforce decisions that exclude minorities and go against their interest. The Constitution contains rules that ensure the minority are not excluded from anything that is routinely available to majority. To save us from ourselves, the Constitution helps us to protect us against certain decisions that could have an adverse effect on the larger principle that country believes in. A good constitution also does not allow any whims to change its basic structure. It does not allow for the easy overthrow of provisions that guarantee rights of citizens and protect their freedom. Key features of Indian Constitution. Federalism. It refers to the existence of more than one level of government in the country. In India, there are governments at the center and state level. Local bodies forms the third tier of government. The states are not merely agents of the federal government but draw their authority from the constitution. Each state in India enjoy autonomy in exercising powers on certain issues, but the subject of national concern require all the states to follow the laws of central government. The constitution contains lists that specify issues on which each tier of government can make laws. The constitution also specifies from where each tier of government can get the money. Parliamentary form of government. This form of government consists of representatives who are elected by the people and are accountable to them. The Constitution of India guarantees universal adult suffrage for all citizens. This means that every citizen of the country, irrespective of her social background, can participate in election. Separation of powers. According to Constitution, there are three organs of government: legislature, executive, and judiciary. Legislature. Legislature are for elected representatives responsible for formulating laws. Executive. Executive are responsible for implementing laws and running the government. Judiciary. It refers to the system of courts in the country. To prevent the misuse of power by any one branch of the government, the Constitution says that each of these organs should exercise different powers. Moreover, each organ acts as check on other organs of government. This ensures the balance of power between all three. Secularism. A secular state is one which state does not officially promote any one religion as the state religion. Fundamental rights. The section of fundamental right has often been referred to as conscience of Indian Constitution. It guarantees the rights of individual against state as well as against other individual. It guarantees the rights of minorities against the majority. Fundamental rights in the Indian Constitution. Right to equality. All persons are equal before the law. This means that all persons shall be equally protected by the laws of the country. It also states that no citizen can be discriminated against on the basis of their religion, caste, or sex. Every person has access to all public places, including playgrounds, hotels, shops. The state cannot discriminate against anyone in matter of employment. The practice of untouchability has also been abolished. Right to freedom. These include the right to freedom of speech and expression, the right to form association, the right to move freely and reside in any part of the country, and the right to practice any profession, occupation, or business. Right against exploitation. The Constitution prohibits human trafficking, forced labor, and employment of children under 14 years of age. Right to freedom of religion. Religious freedom is provided to all citizens. Every person has the right to practice, profess, and propagate the religion of their choice. Cultural and educational right. The Constitution states that all minorities, religious or linguistic, can set up their own educational institution in order to preserve and develop their own culture. Right to constitutional remedies. This allows citizens to move the court if they believe that any of their fundamental rights has been violated by the state. As per Dr. Ambedkar, these fundamental rights has twofold objective. Every citizen must be in position to claim those rights. These rights must be binding upon every authority that has got the power to make laws. Interesting points of this chapter is Dr. Baba Saheb Dr. Ambedkar is known as father of the Constitution. Granville Austin wrote a book, The Indian Constitution, Cornerstone of a Nation. The Constitution has a section called Directive Principle of State Policy to ensure greater social and economic reforms. The Constitution also mentions fundamental duties. It is important for citizens in a democracy to observe them. All democratic countries likely to have constitution, but it is not necessary that all countries that have a constitution are democratic. Constituent Assembly. In 1934, the Indian National Congress made the demand for a Constituent Assembly. During the Second World War, the assertion for an independent Constituent Assembly formed only of Indians gained momentum, and it was convened in December 1946. Between December 1946 and November 1949, the Constituent Assembly drafted the Constitution for Independent India. Constitution was signed its final session on 24 January 1950. Difference between state and government. State. It refers to a political institution that represents a sovereign people who occupy a different territory. It refers to more than just the government and can be used interchangeably with government. Government. Government is responsible for administrating and enforcing laws. The government or the executive is one part of the state. It can change with election. Thank you. Subscribe for more videos.